All right, here is part 2 of your test review. All right, so this says B is in the interior of right angle AXC. All right, so I know this is a right angle because it tells me that. Label it as a right angle and it's named AXC. And then it says B is in the interior, so B is over here somewhere. Then it goes on to say that AXB is 8x minus 3. BXC is 12x plus 13. Okay. So, think for a second, and does that mean that these two angles are both 45? Would they be congruent? That's a possibility, but it does not say that XB bisects it. It just says B is in the interior. So what you do know is that you can add them together and set them equal to the whole thing, which you do know what it is since it's a right angle. So these two angles are complementary, which means I can add them together and set them equal to 90. So 8x minus 3 plus 12x plus 13 equals 90. And so 20x plus 10 equals 90. So 20x equals 80 and x equals 4. So x equals 4. Then I got to find AXB, BXC, and AXC. All right, well, AXC has to be 90 because it's the whole thing, and it's a right angle. So then I plug it in. I've got to do 8 times 4 minus 3. So that's 32 minus 3, which is 29. So that is AXB. BXC is going to be 12 times 4 plus 13, so it's going to be 48 plus 13, so 48 plus 10 is 58, plus 3 is 61, so this is 61 degrees, and 29 and 61 gives me 90, so I'm good. All right, number 27, these angles are a linear pair, so linear pair is the best name for them. That does mean that they're also adjacent and supplementary, so the supplementary part tells me what to do with them. And that means I'm going to add them together. So 4x plus 41 plus 7x plus 40 equals 180. So for step 0 work, you just plug it in. So then this is going to give me 11x plus 81 equals 180. So 11x equals 99. X equals 9. X equals 9, measure of angle 1, it's going to be 4 times 9 plus 41. So 4 times 9 is 36, plus 41 is going to be 77. So this is 77 degrees, which means I know that angle 2 should be 103, so let's see if that's what happens. 7 times 9 plus 40. So that's 63 plus 40, that is 103, and that's good because then that means that those two add to give you 180. All right, so coordinates of the midpoint of line segment CH with endpoints at these two locations. So your midpoint formula is x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2. So I can label my points x1, y1, x2, y2. And just plug them in. So 31 plus 17 over 2 and 17 plus 29 over 2. So 31 and 17 is 48 divided by 2 is going to give me 24. 17 and 29 is going to be 46 divided by 2, which is 23. There's my ordered pair. Okay, then it says M is the midpoint of line segment AB. A has the coordinates of 5, 0, and M has the coordinates of negative 2, 3. Find the coordinates of B. All right, so I know the midpoint. M is the midpoint, and they gave me M. So the midpoint, which is negative 2, 3, is equal to the midpoint formula, which is where we average the two x's. So I'm looking for xy. All right, the coordinates of B are at xy. I don't know what they are, right? And so I'm going to call those x1, y1, and these going to be x2, y2. So that when I go and plug them in, I get x1 plus x2, so it's going to be x plus 5 over 2. y1 plus y2, this will be y plus 0 over 2. And then I have these two ordered pairs that are equal to each other, so I can take the x's out, set them equal to each other. So negative 2 equals x plus 5 over 2. Then I can solve for x, so we'll multiply both sides by 2 and get negative 4 equals x plus 5, which means x equals negative 9. Okay, and then I'm going to take the y's out, so 3 is equal to y plus 0, which is just y over 2, which means y equals 6. So coordinates of point B is at negative 9, 6. All right, so number 30. When you're asked a question like this, remember, this doesn't say, hey, find the line segment. This reads, find the length of line segment AB, which means we are using the distance formula. This is the distance formula, big old square root. Remember, it comes from the Pythagorean theorem, so it is something squared plus something squared. Since this is my plus, these are the minus. And then these are x's, these are y's. Now you're starting to build it, x2 minus x1, y2 minus y1. All right, so I need my ordered pairs here then. So B is at negative 4, negative 2. A is at 4, 5. So then I just substitute them in. You get labeling them would be a good thing. So this label these x1, y1, x2, y2, or vice versa. It doesn't matter which way. And so I've got square root of x2 minus x1, so that's going to be negative 4 minus 4 squared, plus y2 minus y1, it's going to be negative 2 minus 5 squared. So negative 4 minus 4 is negative 8 squared. Negative 2 minus 5 is negative 7 squared. So that gives me the square root of 64 plus 49, which is going to give me the square root of 113, and that is a prime number, so that is the length of AB. Remember, you would simplify the square root if you could. All right, last page. When it wants to turn. It's thinking about turning. There we go. Okay, so it says, using the figure below, tell whether each statement is true or false and explain. A postular definition should be part of your explanation. All right, so this says line AE is contained in plane M. So here's plane M right here. Line AE. All right, so here's point A, here's point E. So line AE is right here. Okay, so point A is in plane M. Point E is not. So that is false. As if 2 points lie in a plane, or 2 points are in a plane, I guess would be a better way to say it. 2 points, it doesn't really matter either way, are in a plane. The line containing them is 2. And then we could also say that because of that, point E is not in plane M. All right, F and B are collinear. Yes, there's not a line that goes through them, but I can draw a line through them. And so they absolutely are collinear, because through any 2 points, any 2 points, there is exactly one line. Okay, so since I can draw a line through any 2 points are collinear. All right, ray DE and ray CD are opposite rays. Okay, so I can tell you without even looking at the picture that that is false. Because when you name a ray, you have to start with the endpoint. So the endpoint of this ray is D, the endpoint of this ray is C, and opposite rays have to share an endpoint. Okay, so opposite rays share an endpoint and create a line. Oops. Ray C or ray DE and CD have different endpoints. So that would be a false. If you need to see them on this picture, then this is ray DE and this is ray CD. They are not opposite rays. C, A, and F are coplanar. Okay. Any 3 points are coplanar. But let's look at C, A, and F. C, A, and F. A lot of times people will try and tell me that is false because F is in plane M and A and C are in plane N, and they are. But I can also have another plane coming in diagonally and going through those 3 points because those are 3 non-collinear points. And through any 3 non-collinear points, there is exactly one plane. So because of that, they have to be coplanar. Now, if they were collinear points, they would still be coplanar. They just wouldn't determine a plane because they would be collinear. All right, and then 36, planes N and M intersect at D. Again, I don't even have to look at the picture. I can tell you that's false. Because if 2 planes intersect, they intersect at exactly one line. Okay, not at a point. So when these 2 planes intersect, they intersect at point D is part of the intersection, but they intersect at this line. They don't intersect at a point. And draw on your picture. It will help you to shade and color and draw in things with your pencil and so forth. All right, so we're going to use the figure below, name each of the following, and explain. A postulate or definition should be part of your explanation. All right, so the intersection of planes BAF and GHE. All right, well, if 2 planes intersect, then their intersection is, remember, you should be able to do your explanation most of the time before you do anything else. Now, BAF, remember, we're not going to connect the dots. You don't go in here and connect the dots of BAF and get a triangle. Plane BAF is the top of this prism here. GHE, again, I don't connect the dots and get a triangle. It's referring to this whole plane over here. Okay, so they intersect. They share this right here. This is their intersection. It would be line FE. And the answer has to be a line because if 2 planes intersect, they intersect at exactly one line. Then the intersection of plane DAB and line HC. So when a plane and a line intersect, you got 3 choices. Or that's a ray. But either way, it could pass through, it could live in the plane, or it could not touch it at all. So the intersection of plane DAB. So DAB is the side over here. And ray HC. Okay, so I start at H, and I go through C like so. All right, so that ray does not live in the plane, so the intersection is not the ray. It does intersect it, so it's also not that they don't have any intersection at all. It passes through it, so the intersection is a point. Okay. And ray HC passes through plane DAB. Then I have a point collinear with G. All right, now, when you're asked a question like this, it is asking you one from the picture because, yeah, any 2 points are collinear, so really I could pick any of them. We'll just pick D. It's the easiest, but there's lots of options here. But don't pick like Q just to make something up. So that would be D. And then we could say through any 2 points, there is exactly one line. Okay, so that is it for your test review. You need to also make sure you go over all the homework that you have received back from me. If you've missed anything, figure out why you missed it so that it doesn't happen again. Read through your ISN, know your postulates, know those pages. Read through your notes on each page so that you are ready for this test. If you do not prepare for this test, you will regret it, okay? So make sure that you actually study. If you've never had to study before, now is when you need to start. Okay, remember I'm also going to grade your ISNs tomorrow, and both parts of the review are due tomorrow.